So Steven Gerrard's time at the LA Galaxy looks like it's coming to an end. We all knew that, to be fair. But Paul Joyce at the Express is saying that Liverpool are apparently in talks with his people to bring him back to Liverpool Football Club. Now, in what capacity, we're not quite sure at the moment, but a question I'll put to the panel, because everyone here clearly loves Steven Gerrard as much as I do. Yeah. Should Steven Gerrard, should he be coming back to Liverpool, or having left, is it best for him and for football and for Liverpool Football Club if he just ultimately stays away?
Only if he plays in number 10. That's the only time I want to see him come back for Liverpool.
Please.
He has to play in a number 10.
He's never going to play.
Yeah.
He's not going to play.
No, he has to play. That's the only. If he doesn't play, I don't care.
Oh, he's not allowed to come back unless he plays every game.
Number 10 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do you.
just leave it at that.
Do you know what? These are all interesting ones, and I don't know what if. Obviously, outside of Liverpool, it's not really. It's a kind of a non-story, because what do these people do when they come back? Is it coaching? Then maybe, but maybe he won't be a good coach. There's loads of great footballers that weren't a good coach, so maybe he'll come in and actually fuck everything up.
Well, I think that's what the criticism of anything of it is that his career did fade out a little bit toward the end of, Liverpool failed to win the title. A lot of blame people would fall into songs about it and all kinds of clubs that had nothing to do with it.
Irrelevant. Seeing Gerrard slip was amazing.
Yeah, but his reputation will remain largely intact if he doesn't get associated with Liverpool Football Club, because in time people will just think about the stuff that he.
I think no matter what, he'll be associated with Liverpool Football Club, whether he goes back in any capacity or not. He lives in Liverpool. He's a Liverpool-born lad.
You've seen it when, I guess, older players come back and they're on the coaching staff or whatever. You've seen various degrees of success.
I'll give you an example. All right, he's not from Manchester, but Norman Whiteside is a great advocate for Man United. You see, if you follow him on Twitter and see what he does for the club, even though he's obviously never come back in a managerial or coaching facility or capacity, for the club. But I mean, he's still a great advocate for the club. What he did for the club was fantastic. If Gerrard comes back and does something like that, even though he's not directly associated with the club, it can only be good for the club, can't it? Even though I detest him and everything he stands for, it's just a wee scally wee fuckwit, isn't he?
I always said that you looked at what Zidane's job was at Real Madrid prior to getting the managerial job, and he was part ambassador, part just played, in the training games or whatever. Yeah. And there's something about Steven Gerrard, for whatever people perceive him to be, he was never anything less than a talented and very dedicated professional when he was within the realms of playing footy.
There'll be a role for him, won't there? Whether it be Liverpool have these ambassadors like Everton do, you think you'll Fowler, McAllister and
Michael
Owen at the moment, who obviously is a great advocate for Liverpool Football Club. I suppose it's what he wants to do. If he wants to do that, then I can't see him coming back as a player, because I seen a LA Galaxy fan tweet over the weekend, said I'm absolutely gutted in the playoffs because it means I'm going to have to see Steven Gerrard in an LA Galaxy shirt. So that basically tells you about his time at LA Galaxy.
Well, you've watched, obviously you do MLS show. He's not had the best of times over in the States.
No, and he's done that thing where he's sort of disrespected them by turning up in Liverpool on he's playing for us tomorrow. No, he's actually in the stand at Anfield watching the game. He's done that. They don't like that, which you can imagine. Like when Beckham went the royal wedding, they're not into that. So they feel like that's totally disrespecting them. But they'll find it's up to him, isn't it? Whether he wants to go down the club route, where he's a club man and everything's 100% Liverpool, or he does the Carragher thing where it's all about the whole game, and then suddenly you find that he gets respect off everybody, and everyone looks back at his career like sort of fondly. Yeah. And it's up to Gerrard which of those two he wants to do. I think he'd be better doing the club thing. Yeah. I don't think he's a good talker.
I think it's also a case of...
I don't think he's a good talker. I think he likes Liverpool, he likes the style. He's got like a really nice restaurant in the city centre, and I can imagine that there'll be a few more little things he'll get involved in that. And probably just do a little bit of just youth coaching and just... I can't really have a go at the lad. He's Liverpool born and bred. He's done really well for himself. He's really generous as well. I still see him knocking he still goes back to his granddad's in a really rough area of Liverpool, and he'd love to live there if he could. He's not that sort of. If anyone's got any ideas of being this party boy, he's never been like that. Yeah. So I can't have any fault with him.
Apart from the fact he played for Liverpool.
Yeah, but he's lived the dream. So what can you? I mean, what he was an Evertonian, so he fucked up on that behalf because he was a player. Like, but so if I was him, I'd go back to the club and just find a role.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't try and play football because don't tarnish that legacy.
Yeah.
Do not. Don't leave the last thing people remember of you as being this fella who sort of tries to grab the glory.
What's the last thing you remember about him? Was him slipping and Liverpool losing the title?
He didn't.
It was great.
That, to be fair, but the
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly my point.
But the thing is that what he needed to, I think he needed to leave the club then because the spotlight was too much on him, watching him as a fading power. Whereas I actually think that
it wasn't burning brightly enough on Jordan.
but the thing at Liverpool now is that a couple of things. The team is far more important in a general sense, but also the manager takes a lot more of that attention away. And I don't think he's good. I couldn't name a position that Steven Gerrard could get into Liverpool's team as even like second choice at the moment. But that being said, second choice, yeah, fair play. But that being said, I wouldn't have major issues with him. If we've got the space in the squad, you could do worse than register him as a player and have him there. Because for the start, if we were to go on and win the league, I'd like him to just win a league medal through the back door because that'd be quite funny. But look at Thierry Henry coming back a couple of times. You know, I know it's not quite the same as those MLS loan periods.
Was he not playing? He wasn't playing at Arsenal though.
No, but
I mean, the first time.
I don't expect him to come back and play, but I don't see any.
Would that not tarnish it though for you? Something. I don't know. I can understand you always want to see your heroes and that idea that they can come back and it's all going to be all right, and you just think.
Yeah, maybe so, but I think it's one of them. He probably will come back. He should come back as a coach / ambassador.
He can do anything he wants at the Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
But if you register him as a player as well, and you think about if it came down to it, if you had a penalty in the last minute of the season, to do something, I could think of far worse players to have on the pitch.
Do you think Klopp's got that in him though, where he's got that like emotional side, where he'd do something?
I don't
like
think
that?
he'd do it. I don't think he's doing it out of emotions. I think he'd do it because. If he felt that
really,
I don't
there's no other reason to bring Steven Gerrard on, but
I'm
emotion.
not saying there wouldn't be other reasons, but what I mean is Klopp's not a nostalgic man.
Exactly.
I think he's a romantic, but he's not a nostalgic, and I think he would if he felt there was something Gerrard could add. And he said himself, there's always going to be a place for him. Don't worry about space at Liverpool. Now that could be interpreted any way, coaching staff, playing squad, anything. But I don't know. I just hope he comes back because he is the greatest player.
He's never been away.
I barely survived the media furore when he left.
I know, it
was horrendous.
It was.
So I can't cope with him coming back and then leaving
What was
again.
his last?
He's gone, right? He's gone. You don't go back. You've
Crystal
gone.
Palace.
Yeah,
3-1.
It was terrible. That was fucking terrible.
But what I would say, right,
yeah,
I remember that.
Not that I remember anything.
Turning your arm.
Watch Liverpool games.
What I would say, just on a club level, Spurs had this kind of time when we were bottom of the league. Bottom of the league. We were bottom of the league, right? For 8 games gone. 2 points we had.
Samways.
It wasn't that long ago. It was Brendan Redknapp took over.
And
the first thing he did, because the club was in a mess, no identity, like that cliche, but it was true. There was nothing there. The first thing he did was bring back behind the scenes and outwardly facing the media people that were familiar with the football club that had played. Ferdinand, Sherwood. There were some others.
They're the two you can remember then.
Sheringham came in as a coach. None of them were like, oh my God, brilliant,
they were
he's
Tottenham
back.
men though.
Howells.
Yeah, it was that kind of thing. Howells probably wasn't Howells.
No, Sol Campbell, no.
Was that?
I see what you're saying, though.
Is that what's up? Is that all right? What you just did?
What?
You can let him get away with that, are we? if that's okay, then all right, fine. It's your show.
What's wrong with
I was just abused him.
Yeah, and mention Sol Campbell.
Tory wanker.
Yeah. Tory wanker. You're right. Yeah, so I don't know where I'm going with that. You completely thrown me off of that.
Facing players.
All I'm saying is that it might not be the end of the world having a familiar face especially at a time where Liverpool are going to go through some stage where things don't go well.
Yeah.
And the fans will start to turn on Klopp and everything that he represents.
Won't.
They'll turn on him. They will. Like the dog he is.
I'd say it's great. It's great to have someone at your club who can relate to the players who are there what it's all about. Yeah. That's the top and bottom of it.
Yeah.
That is the top and bottom. Forget about the fans. It's just good to have someone who can just walk in the dressing room.
What I wouldn't go down the path of is saying he'll take over Klopp when Klopp's done.
Like,
Gerrard will be the most, because that never works. No. It only works for Pep Guardiola. Other than that, no one's ever done.
I agree with that, but I think that's it. I think having someone like Steven Gerrard, for you're a young player, there is no bigger idol at the club than to say, look at what Steven Gerrard accomplished while he was there, to go through the ranks and lift the European Cup and all that kind of stuff. So he's got that. He's got those skills, he's got that experience.
Had to slide that in there, didn't he? Every Liverpool fan can't go through a day without mentioning the fifth European Cup.
But he's just
honestly.
But also,
no one makes it worse when
every day.
When it's 4, they didn't even ever mention it. You never get. There's no.
Here's another one.
We kept it.
Here's another one for you. You didn't win it 5 times in Istanbul. You won it for the 5th time.
Yeah.
In Istanbul, we won it 5 times. No, you didn't. You won it for the 5th time. Get that fucking right next time you sing it.
Doesn't scan into the song, Liam.
Irrelevant. It destroys me. You can't go through a full day without saying it.
If it destroys you, Liam, then it's all the more reason to sing.
It almost upsets me as much as Sol Campbell seems to upset Flav.
Fucking done it again.
Anyway, whatever. Wrap it up. But I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him back in some capacity, because I think enough time's gone that he's not the centre of attention. He could actually go back to being what Man United were very good at doing, is getting guys and using their experience and letting them age gracefully, as opposed to it being some sort of sideshow, circus, freak show kind of thing. Like, if that's possible, that would be lovely for Steven Gerrard. Let us know your thoughts on that in the comments below. And go and subscribe to the Ball Street YouTube channel.